Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome to your favorite generic paranormal show. I guess it's not really a podcast because we don't have a lot of guests on, so we don't cast any pods and we don't interview people a whole lot. Every once in a while.
I just thought it was funny you said your favorite generic paranormal show.
That's right.
There's only so many.
There's only one.
Your favorite.
So it has to be your favorite if you're, unless you hate it, it's your favorite. If you like it at all, it's your favorite. So there you go. We've got 2 viewers. Let me get over here to where I
bet one of them is
comments.
Steve.
One of them is Team Lovejoy. Tim and Aaron Lovejoy joining live, driving around. Driving around is cool. I'm not trying to go out driving around right now because we're having some potential thunderstorms. Not a big deal to me, but the kids get all worried sometimes if there's a tornado warning or watch or something like that. So we are in Kansas City. We're just outside of the Kansas City, Missouri, just outside of the tornado alley. So there is that. But I'm your host, KD Stafford, and this is my co-host.
I'm Austin.
And together with our powers combined, we are...
Generic
do it. Do this. We're like the Wonder Twins.
Oh, you gotta go the opposite direction.
You gotta go. No, I'm facing you right now. I'm punching towards you. You got to go the opposite direction.
See, right now I'm punching.
There you go. That's perfect. Right there. Wonder Twins powers activate. Do it. There you go.
Dude, it's like weird because my view of you is showing your arm going the same direction as me, so it's like we're just.
Well, if you were me and I were you, then I'd use your body to get to the top. You can't stop me, no matter who you are. Loser. What movie is that from?
Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Very good. So tonight we're going to carry on our conversation about the history of instrumental transcommunication, which, for those of you who out there who don't know, this is the foundation on which our modern ghost hunting techniques, the majority of them, as far as using electronics in said ghost hunts, goes, right? So recording EVPs, using ghost boxes, spirit boxes, any type of electronics outside of EMF detectors.
I would say audio waves of any sort.
Any kind of recording or any kind of work that's done trying to record EVP work, DRV work. Any of that stuff is all, we can all thank the founding fathers of ITC for laying the foundation on which we're just kind of building upon. I guess we're developing variations of it, possibly improving it, and whatnot. What would you say about that? Would you agree with that, Austin?
I would say we're expanding on it. I don't know if we're necessarily improving it.
No, I think we are as technology improves.
Well, technology is improving, but do we know that the methods are working better?
Well, no, but I'm saying if we were to so here's something that I've been thinking lately. I am wanting to get back to like a foundational ITC institute or metaphysical institute way of contacting the beyond, right? I'm not now they had kind of actually, now there's caveats. they had kind of actually built sort of a spiritualism movement esque, like in the late 1800s, with the Fox sisters and all the spiritualism, and there's what's the name of the
Talking about the
town?
Meta Science Foundation.
No. This is the well, there is a meta science foundation, right? Yeah, yes, metaphysical, but it's there's a metaphysical institute as well. I'll show you.
Right.
So this is the book that I've been on a week long deep dive when I'm not like tired as hell from work, right? And so I'm going to share to the screen right time and now. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the homepage for World ITC. Okay, now we're going to go to the main page here. Let me just click on this, I think. No, maybe not. Hold on. We can get back to the page. Jesus Christ. This stuff's fascinating, right? So this is let me getting started. No, tips for World ITC. Okay, hold on a second. We had what is new? Okay, here we go. What is new? All right, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm going to share this tab instead. All right, and I'm going to drag this over here.
All right.
All right. That joke don't hold up, the whole Matthew McConaughey, and they keep getting younger, and I stay the same age. That did not last. That did not age well, did it? Okay.
Can only say that
dude, did you see the video of that guy talking about how he hey, Linda Scott and Colton Martin. Colton, what's up, bud? And Tim Lovejoy, and Colton is Julie. She's on our team. Colton is Julie's, I believe. Isn't that you, Colton? Or am I thinking about a different Colton? Because I'm pretty sure this is Colton. This is Julie's grandson, and her and my son Logan got to be friends during the Cowtown event, and they were investigating. They were like the dynamic duo, bro. They were running around with a ghost box. Colton's like 13 and Logan's like 12, and they were running around catching like really good evidence. It's crazy, dude. They might be the next Sam and Colby's, all I'm saying. So anyway, now this page right here, for anybody who's interested in ITC, and I mean truly interested. I'm not talking about I'm interested in buying something off of Ghost Stop. This I don't want to say mass produced, but it's like, everybody's got one, and like and I'm not bagging on that either, but this right here is the work. This is the work. This right here is the work. This is the research right here. This because none of these devices excuse me. I've been a little under the weather today. I had to lay out of work this morning. I've started to feel a lot better after getting to a whole bunch of sinus medication and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I apologize. But this right here is the foundational work, right? Mm-hmm. And this is the biggest rabbit hole that you will ever find. And I mean, and when I say rabbit hole, check this out. Once you get done with this site and all these links over here, and there's entire books that people have written, like pamphlets people have written, all these ITC workers, the Fishbox, Harsh Fishbach and his wife, Radeve Constantine Radeve, Bill O'Neill or William O'Neill. They even got a picture of John Denver here through ITC methods. Jeanette Meek, George Meek. This right here is supposedly a picture of Jeanette Meek in this photo right here. Can you see? Mm-hmm. Can you see where my mouse is pointing over here? Can you see that? You can't see the mouse? I need to fix that. Okay. Anyway, so where it says click to enlarge Jeanette Meek, on the left-hand side, that face, that was an image that they captured using a DVR, what they called the DVR method, right?
DRV,
I mean, yes. And so
what Ron and Lourdes do.
Do what?
That's what Ron and Lourdes do. The
Right,
DOD.
right. They picked up in their footsteps. Right. Now, I'd be interested in seeing what kind of improvements or additions that Ron and Lord has added to this process. You know what I mean? I'd like to have them on and maybe
I could
have
tell
them.
you that right now.
No. I'd like to have them on one day, and I would like to have them demonstrate and explain it fully. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
want to save that for another episode for them, so they can break the news. But basically, so Jeanette Meek died in the spring of 1990. And basically, they in this time frame, this late 80s, early 90s time frame, they were experimenting with all types of different equipment and methods. And here's
spiritualism movement, right?
It was a
Or like
modern day spiritual. It was more like a techno spiritualism movement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Techno spiritualism. I don't even know if that's a word.
It is now.
Well, it is now, I reckon. So, and let's see, tips for experimenters. This was an interesting one. Techniques applied. All right. So now, when we get down to here, right? All right. So general Ouija board. All right. So this is interesting. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, right? But the Ouija board is, I guess, by them considered to sort of be the first form of ITC.
I don't like it.
Well, I mean, it
is.
It's using a device. It's using a device to communicate with the beyond. And now you have
to. It's a bad taste in my mouth.
Why? Well, and I know why. Because there's a psychic ability aspect to it. Like it requires the use of either somebody willingly using a psychic ability that they know they have, or the combination of people's natural psychic ability, or operating maybe through their subconscious micro muscle movements, moving the planchette. That would be the explanation. That would be the only, like, I guess, plausible explanation for how it could work. There's obviously not a ghost moving the planchette. If there is, that's powerful. But to say that couldn't happen would be to say that poltergeist activity is not real.
Well, I just don't like IT. I don't like it being ITC. Like, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree that it's ITC?
No. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
I believe that it's one of the first forms of ITC. And so moving on. That's your that's everybody's
right, yep.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I respect that. But now you even have everything. These are techniques that these researchers that belong to the World ITC technological, the new technology of spiritual contact, World ITC Association, right? Now, most of these people were based in Europe, right? And so you had the Ouija board, you had the talking table, which was, See, now the reason why these things leave a bad taste in your mouth is because of the people like the Fox sisters, who
that way.
Yeah, because they come out and they claim, well, they were like two.
I didn't know that's why I left a bad taste in my mouth.
No, they started. They are the ones that started to leave a bad taste in people's mouth about spiritualism in regards to spiritualism.
Okay. See what you're saying.
Right, and the methods that people used back in those days.
Right.
Tim Lovejoy says ITC mechanical, in my opinion. It doesn't say mechanical. That is not implied in the term, though. The term
Timmy,
is
I'm with you.
instrumental transcommunication. That could be. Now, if you go to ITC Voices website. Don't tell me that, Austin, because first of all, there's people on ITC Voices who will take a hit off their e-cigarette and blow it out in front of a big sheet of tinfoil and take a picture, and that's ITC, right?
Hold on, time out.
have you never seen that?
ITC Voices? Fuck
That was
no,
on the
that's not.
IC. That used to be on the ITC Voices website. Yes,
Oh
it did.
well, that could, yeah, but
Yes, it
that's
did.
also
And it was because it was.
using photography and
It is,
videography. That's different. That is becoming ITC at that point.
the photography was just to capture
That's
the.
ITC when you're using the photography.
Okay, it's ITC when you don't a board with a planchette with a lens. That is a device. Whether you like it or not, it is a device. Dowsing rods, are those devices?
Nope.
They're not. This is not a device.
It is, but it's not ITC.
It's not ITC. You're correct, but it is a device.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about ITC versus.
No. So if dowsing rods are a device or an instrument, right? Then a Ouija board is an instrument, and it's no different than an obelisk. Obelisks are also ITC.
You're technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
I mean,
My argument
technically
is that when modern culture and throughout history, ITC has been associated with some form of frequency, whether that's light, audio, radio, and I mean, like, that's kind of where it is. It's about capturing voices or images within.
Dude, life is a frequency. Everything is frequency.
Bro.
Like, literally everything is frequency.
Yeah. But when we're talking about measuring the frequencies and having them translate into voices or images, that's the difference. Through some kind of electronic means.
It does not. That is not even entailed in.
Right.
That's not entailed in the definition, or in the name.
But we could, at that point, we can call just about fucking anything ITC.
Dude, Mark Macy, would you consider him to not? He uses crystals for ITC.
Yeah, because he's using audio.
He's using also. Well, there's also people who use photos through crystals.
That's still.
You can look through a crystal. You can look through a crystal.
Well, that's not, because you're not any way of like recording it or documenting it. Like, that's the whole thing with ITC is like it's coming through a third. I don't know what you would call it. It's coming through a medium of some sort that is a. I mean, granted, yes, it is a device, but it's either audible or visual in nature.
Yeah, just like a Ouija board.
A Ouija board is not audible or visual.
It's not visual?
It's as visible as the hand in front of my face. That's not what
so
I'm
if
talking about.
So if I built a board, right, and it had the alphabet on it, and it had yes and no down at the bottom, and all those letters and yes and no lit up, right, and based on
like what I do.
EM fields, no, not like what you do. And based on EM fields on all the way around it, then that would cause. Did those light up?
They are gonna.
Okay, well, sure, Austin, whatever. So that's not ITC.
No.
It is ITC. It is ITC.
I mean,
and it's one that.
Sure.
By your definition, even that is ITC. It has to use some kind of electronics. Yes, it's ITC.
Using audible or visual frequencies.
You don't have to do that.
It's manipulation of audible or visual frequencies.
Negative. They used the Commodore 64 for ITC. They would type in a question. They would type. Yeah, but it's not like nothing magical to it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
but it's not just your hands on a wood triangle. Like there's a difference.
Well, they didn't have computers back then.
We could go. No, they didn't. But
that is the founding
radios. They did.
That is the founding blocks. The foundation of. Using randomness or using someone's psychic ability combined with a device to choose letters.
Okay.
to receive a message from beyond.
Whatever makes you
That's
sleep.
my opinion. Don't help me sleep or not. I'm just saying that's my opinion. I'm not going to take a strong stance either for it or against. I will take a strong stance that it is ITC, and it's the same thing when you use a ghost
I got
box.
at least Timmy on my side. So
well, I mean that's fine.
2-on-1. So don't know what to tell you, bud. You lose them.
Okay, so the guys that came up with ITC are just full of shit then. Now we're going to define what ITC is, right?
No. Well, the guys that came up with ITC, I don't know what you're talking.
All these guys on this fucking website that we're looking at right now, they're the ones
come up with ITC.
Really. George Meeks, Constantine Raudeve, all these people, they did not come up with ITC.
They came up with various forms of ITC, yeah.
They are the founding fathers of ITC. The fish box. Bocce. Oh my God, what was Babcock? All those people are the founding fathers of ITC, and they were also very into spiritualism. Spiritualism gave rise to ITC.
Okay.
So some of the first devices so would you say a novelist is ITC?
It's more ITC than a Ouija board.
Why? Because it uses electronics to pick a letter. Or a word.
It's using frequencies of some sort, and I'm pretty sure that it does tap into radio frequencies. So
no, I don't think it does.
Okay.
It uses EMF spikes. It uses environmental spikes, and it takes those spikes, and there's some math in there in the code, and that code picks one of a large number of libraries of files, and each one of those files is a library of words, and it will pick a random word out of those libraries and produce it. That is really not. That is so close to just picking a random word with a Ouija board that I don't know how else to display that. But anyway, moving right along, I used to think that that Frank Sumption, Bocce actually, was the only person that really worked with. I'm trying to find. This is the Psycho Phone. Here's a circuit for a Psycho Phone. I'm going to build that too. But so EVP Maker, I'm going to get this going as well. But there was where is that other? Filtering voices devices 4. Okay, Mezzo 1. All right, now this blew my mind, dude. Like, I don't know how. I know I'd seen this before, but why didn't my brain stick to this? Hold on, let me read Timmy's. Instrumental transcommunication, ITC, is the claimed, often experimental process of communicating with spirits or disembodied entities using electronic devices like radios, televisions. Now, where did you get that definition from? Tim. But anyway, the Mezzo 1, okay, this is harsh, the Maggie and Jules harsh Fishbach. They received information from beyond of how to build a device that would allow to make two-way communications. I brought it up. Information can be found in Info News 0192. Now this is 1992. CETL, Circle d'études sur la transcommunication, Luxembourg. Okay, the Mezzo 1. All right, so this is the Mezzo 1, dude. Look at this.
Like a water cooler.
I thought it was a water heater.
Or a water heater, yeah.
Right.
But it looks like they just used the water heater container, the cylinder.
Like the drum. And then they put 7 radios without antenna arranged stepwise,
Yep.
each connected to a loudspeaker fixed to the outer wall.
Now look
And
at
they got a
this.
TV on there too, probably for the UHF
And this is
or the VLF. Sorry.
a picture of probably someone they were trying to contact. Constantine Radove, I believe it was. Look at this radio. This looks like a very familiar radio to me. Looks like one of those. Oh shit! What is it?
Damn. It's got some thunder.
I'm having a brain fart. But these are just little loudspeakers, right? And this tube was built to specification. Now let me go back, if I can.
I just got some thunder outside. Thunder.
I'm sure if you looked across the internet, you find 50 different definitions of ITC. But in my book, these people did it first. So if they are using Ouija boards and everything else, all these old school methods of divination, not necessarily divination, like rune stones, all that stuff. In my opinion, that's ITC. It's almost like divination. You're
So then
divining.
a REM pod would be ITC?
No, because it's not. You're
Why
not. Because a REM pod does not allow you to form a message out of randomness.
Good. Morse code.
I've never seen that happen ever. Not
How
once.
do you know? Have you ever tried
I
to
said I've
read through it?
never seen that happen. That's what I said.
I know, but have you ever watched through some of your videos
No.
to see if the REM pod spikes were Morse code?
No.
Oh, well, then.
I'm just saying I've never seen that
I'm
happen.
just saying
I didn't
too.
say it wasn't possible. I'm just saying I've never seen it happen. And right now, at this stage I'm at, I don't have time for that. But, so, what was I? Where did I go to here? Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry. Okay. Filtering
Something about
voices.
the Meta one.
The Mesa. The Mesa.
Mesa,
Yeah. Okay, Mesa 1. I'm going to share this tab instead. All right. So the Mesa 1 is a cylindrical container housing 7 radios without antenna arranged stepwise and each connected to a loudspeaker fixed to the outer wall. The exact dimensions of the cylinder had been transmitted to Svein Salter on November 15th, 1988. Cylinder height, 0.77 meters. That's about, 2 feet? 3 feet?
I don't know. How many feet is
Shit,
a
I
meter?
don't even know.
Like 2.83 feet or something.
I thought it was close to, it was like 2 point, I can't remember.
I think it's like 2.83 feet.
Yeah, it's not that big.
I
So
may
that's
be
the
wrong.
cylinder height, and diameter is a half a meter. Excerpt from CETL Info News, January 1992.
Probably
Several
a
people.
2 foot by 1 foot.
Hey Google, what are the dimensions in American of 0.77 meters by 0.49 meters in diameter?
The dimensions of 77 meters by 0.49 meters in American
No.
is customary unit.
No, 0.77 meters
I'm sorry, everybody.
by 0.49 meters in diameter. What?
Is this entertaining for y'all?
The dimensions of 0.77 meters by 0.49 meters in diameter are approximately
That's about
length/height, 30.31
We were close.
inches, or about 2.53 feet. Diameter, 19.29 inches, or about 1.61 feet.
Okay, so the height would be anywhere is like 2.5 feet, and the diameter is 19.3 inches. So
Okay.
that's a relatively small And also,
Yeah, pretty small.
if you look at the picture here of this TV, that is like a little camping TV there.
Yeah, that
So
cylinder looks a hell of a lot bigger than what it says.
it does, though, doesn't it? Unless it's sitting on top of something. But these could be just those little, CB radio speakers stuck all around it.
Just judging the size of that, based on the size, we know exactly what size that TV is. It's a 5-inch.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that has got to be like the size of a water heater.
But there's a window back here. That's the window ledge.
Dude, that's a 5-inch thing, dude. That thing has got to be at least 3.5, 4 feet tall.
Okay.
Maybe not 3.5, maybe not 4 feet, but probably at least 3 feet. I would say a solid 3.
So now, let's see. Mesa 1 has been built by several groups in order to enable contacts with groups beyond. Since 1991, the equipment had been in the private research center Centre de Recherches of CETL in Luxembourg. There were also shown how a contact field can be generated through coherent thinking of the experimenters so as to enable receipt of contacts via computer, telephone, and Mesa. By the end of 1992, the research center was closed for cost reasons.
Bro, and it is kind of crazy to and people don't even realize that you actually can change your reality. Like, you can change your immediate reality, and this is not some mind control
Oprah Winfrey shit.
Like, this is actually
some Oprah Winfrey shit.
Well, no, if you focus and you continue to tell yourself, and you make it a reality, it does freaking happen. And I know, I'm not talking about inspirational bullshit. This is real shit. They've proven this. They have proven this. The 2022. I might keep bringing this study back up.
I'll be right back.
2022
1 second.
Nobel Prize winners in physics. They proved that your physicality is. I think it says the reality is local. It's only localized. So if something is basically you can create what your reality is. And so I know there were a lot of I'm trying to think of what the institutions were, but they did study this and showed that you have to be very specific about what you're looking to get, and you have to continue to put it out there into the universe, basically. And I mean, there's different military programs, even in the Stargate project. These are things that I learned. Guy by the name of Kevin Baird, he was a former psychic soldier in the Stargate project. He would talk about how everything. I mean, he was telling me about this 5, 6, 7 years ago. That every thought, every intention that we have, all of it goes out into the universe and affects our immediate reality. So if we are negative, if all we think about is negative thoughts, then yeah, our entire world is going to be negative. Bad things are going to happen to you. But if you...
I disagree with all that. I think that I'm a religious person, as you know. And I believe.
Don't believe in quantum physics?
No, I believe in quantum physics. That's not quantum physics. That's just some shit
that
somebody
absolutely
believes.
Is quantum physics.
So quantum physics believes that, or claims that you can create your own reality around you based on what you want just by thinking about it hard enough.
The Nobel Prize winners in physics in 2022.
Okay.
Look it up.
I will look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it's worded. I'm pretty sure there's a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah, maybe it's not how it's worded. Duh, I'm not.
You made it sound like it was the Oprah Winfrey's The Secret
Good
book,
Lord,
you know,
Jesus
you know what I mean? If you can manifest it, man, if you think about it hard enough.
I was trying to I tried to make it clear, but clearly it didn't work. I was trying to make it a point, this is not inspirational quotes. This is just genuinely reality.
No, well, reality. There's lots of things about reality.
That was a bad
just
word.
Because
wrong word used. Wrong word used.
What?
Because reality, when I say that word, I already know it's going to be like, oh well, it's perception based and all that stuff.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying reality is a complex thing. It is a very complex thing. Uh, yeah, what you just said is also true. But like how many times how many times per year is something that we thought in physics like changed because they found something else that disagrees with it, or it's not necessarily like these things aren't set in stone. They're theories, and they may be strong theories. They may be the best theories we have, but then science finds something else out. How many theories about the cosmos and the universe have been debunked or either had to be rewritten once the James Webb Telescope was launched? I mean, nothing. Science is observing. Is the observation of our natural world and our natural universe. So, based on the improvements, physics is math, but there's been lots of mathematical equations that have been proven to be wrong at some point in time.
Yeah.
You can look at me like I'm fucking crazy if you want to, but that's true, dude. That's 100% true. That's 100% true.
Yes,
and there's lots of different theories on the way things work.
All right.
And you know, so nothing is set in stone, and I'm not an absolutist. I'm a person who is open to the possibility that
so you're agnostic.
No, I'm not agnostic. Why would you say that?
Because if you're not an absolutist,
I'm not an absolutist when it comes to science.
Oh, okay.
I'm an absolutist when it comes to Jesus Christ.
I'm
not an agnostic. But what
about observable physics?
Observable,
like repeatable, observable physics.
Sure, people looked at light for how many years, and they claimed it was a wave.
Well, it is a wave.
But they claimed that it was they claimed that it was a particle.
It's a particle only when you measure it.
Right, but we didn't know that until we developed a test for it. So up until that point, there were people that swore up and down that it's always been that way, dude. It's always been that way in science. Yeah, Galileo. No, that's not true. Even with Galileo, Galileo claimed the fucking sun was the center of the universe, and they said you're fucking retarded, and they sent him to to die in shame. He's a shame scientist, you know what I mean? And like but he ended up being right? And so like there's lots of things we don't know. I think it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very arrogant to believe that we have just in our short period of existence that just because we can observe and do things, do experiments, and do a little math, that we know everything. You know what I mean? Or that when we come up with a scientific explanation for something, just because it's the best one we have, that there's people that will argue with other people and try to make them look like they don't know what they're talking about or like they're idiots because they don't believe the most popular going theory in science. No, it's true, dude. That's just like that's why UFO. What are you talking about, dude? Like, okay, you be a scientist, right? You be an astrophysicist, and you go and you say, all right, aliens are real. I saw one in my telescope the other day. And see if you're not laughed out of the community.
Yeah, because that's just anecdotal. Eyewitness testimony is the lowest form of evidence in the scientific community.
No, what if he recorded it? Even if he recorded it.
If I have data that shows that this is actually happening, it's like that's the difference, is that there has to be data. If there's no data,
so you're telling me there's no fringe scientists out there with data that support their fringe theories, that sit outside of the normal scientific belief system,
Well, the normal scientific belief system is gate kept, and it has it is a mainstream.
That's what I'm
science
talking about.
Is
It's
a
gate kept,
problem in itself.
right?
But
And
that doesn't
the
mean
people.
that a lot of the science that has been found, the math is incorrect, or that it will be changed later. I mean,
No, I'm sure. I'm sure everything we know now is
not
100% correct, and
everything, but
it'll never be
to
changed.
assume that that at any point any of it can change is also kind of I feel like there's certain
That
things
is
in the
no,
universe that cannot that we have found that are definitive. Not
no.
everything is definitive, but
Yeah, there's some things that are objectively true. Right. Yeah, there's some things that are objectively true. Yes, that is true. But not. But they may not be constant throughout the universe, and that's the belief, is that all these things are these physics, everything we know in physics and math and everything would be a constant throughout the universe.
No, that's not how they feel.
Yes,
That's
it is,
incorrect.
because when they want to communicate with aliens, when they sent that, when what's his name sent the disc out into space, right? What he put on
with
it?
radio
Math.
frequencies?
No,
That's
he put
what
math. No, the disc on the Voyager, right? When he sent out the Voyager, what was the scientist's name?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
But okay, so and any scientist who has looked into how we would communicate with aliens, all of them will tell you it is using math, because math is universal to a certain degree. Simple things, right? Like maybe not complex things, but simple, like trigonometry, geometry, things like that. We can communicate. There's certain truths that are universal. Like the 3 angles of a triangle are going to make up 180 degrees. That is a universal truth, right?
Yes.
Okay, so those things, that type of math is what we can use to establish a common ground to communicate with aliens, right? Or to let them know at least we're intelligent. But there's so much more that we don't know that a way more advanced species may know. Like we don't even know. We don't even know. There's a 50-50 chance that there's a 51 to 50 chance, 51 to 49 chance that the universe is a hologram.
I don't know where those numbers came from, but
I mean, Elon Musk said 50-50. He said we're in a 50-50 chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 50-50 chance that we're all a hologram or a simulation being played out by which is, same thing, right? Hologram is just an image projection, right?
Whereas a simulation, I feel like, is a whole more like a video game.
But that's how you would see the video game, is through a holographic projection.
Yeah, but it's almost like the simulation incorporates a hologram, whereas a hologram alone does not create the simulation. Does that make sense?
No. A holographic universe would be the visual representation of the simulation.
Yeah, but the simulation itself is the brains behind the operation, so to speak.
Yeah, it's the program, it's the code.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Right. I don't believe that's true, but anyways. So, what do you want to talk about next?
The Nobel Physics Prize winners in 2022.
Go ahead, bring it up.
I would if I had a computer.
Well, I'm rolling one right now. Yes, that's right. Stephen Gregory, Golden Record. Tim Lovejoy, Chair, Project Director. Carl Sagan, selected the content creative director. Andrew, yes. There were lots of things on there. Yeah, there was music. There were animal sounds. There were images of male and female human forms. There are, but with the math, there are things that are universally constant, like the three angles of three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Mm-hmm. But I believe also in the supernatural, and when you believe in the supernatural, that sits out of science, sits outside of science, and I don't think there's a way that you can
It sits outside
convince.
of mainstream science. I don't
No, it
think it
sits
sits
out of
outside of
science. Period. It sits out of our ability to observe it. There's no way God would give us an opening into the supernatural world.
And why are we even try?
No, we can sometimes get a glimpse, but we'll never figure it out.
Uh,
Yeah, I believe that's otherwise he wouldn't have been able to provide signs to people in biblical times and present times for that matter.
yeah,
I believe
I got a question about that. You know that like the burning bush
yes.
was acacia wood,
That sounds right.
and acacia wood when it's burned releases DMT.
I don't think it was DMT. I think
Well,
God's
acacia wood when it's burned releases DMT.
sure.
And so the burning bush basically was a trippy fucking episode for Moses.
No, that. So God didn't
Not
talk
to
to
say that
Moses.
that's not the like God isn't the reason for why,
No,
but
I don't believe that's true. I believe that because if you read that
acacia
whole,
wood is
okay, that's fine.
that's trippy events.
I don't doubt that. But also, acacia wood don't turn your hair white from witnessing the glory of God.
No, that's different.
So he saw God.
But that was like at the after the Exodus, wasn't it? Like when he got to Mount Sinai. That's when he got the 10 Commandments. He came back down and his hair was all white.
Yes,
But
that is
like
true.
before that,
So that to me takes away from the spiritual connection that Moses had with God to
So
say that
can
he
I-
needed to say that he needed drugs to communicate with God.
No, no,
I
no,
think
no.
is
So
detracting
here-
from it.
So here's my thing. It's not distract. It's not taking away from it. And the reason being is because the thing about DMT is that, I mean, if you've done I'm sure you've done some research into the effects of DMT and people that have
Might have even
taken
done
it.
a little. I've done it. I mean,
So then I'm assuming that you know about the fact that most of these, or many of these people that take it, describe shared experiences. They talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
same entities, the same the same places.
yeah,
the
all that
same-
is all that is of the flesh, though, dude. All that is in the flesh in your brain, the flesh in your mind. Our mind
or
is
does DMT, because our brains naturally produce DMT on super low levels.
no, our
But
brain. Yes,
Is it possible that that's how the higher consciousness comes about, is through DMT?
no. I believe the tiny microscopic release of a tiny, super tiny amount of DMT into our brain when our brain
Gives us
is
access
going
to knowledge that we
into
shouldn't have, maybe.
is going into shutdown mode because we are dying. That is when our brain releases that DMT into our mind, and I believe that may be
It's not the only time.
Really? So we just get fucked up on DMT
Well,
all the
no,
time?
it's in minute amounts. It's not
Right.
like
It's
it's
but it's
heavily
even
released at
higher.
that.
Right. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about
But that's-
minute amounts. Well, I mean, there's lots of shit that's released in minute amounts in our bodies that's like weird. Like, why the fuck why would it do that? But DMT, when it's released in that heavier dose when we die, I believe that is to help us to pass over, or however that works. I don't claim to know the mechanics behind it.
I wonder if that's because our mind needs to be at a higher spiritual level, which is why you need that much DMT. Or maybe it's because Moses needed to be at a higher spiritual level in order to communicate with God when he went up there and saw the burning bush. Maybe that was the whole point. And that was my thing, is that maybe God's the reason for why, not the reason for how.
I don't think he would have needed that to see God, considering the power, the glory of God.
You don't have to think about it, whatever. Acacia wood does what it does when it's burned.
No, I'm not saying that. I said I don't think you would need to smoke dope to see God,
I don't think you need to.
because the glory of God would turn his hair white. Like he just
Yeah,
glimpsed
that was later,
God. Yeah, that was later, right? But God doesn't need drugs in you to make you experience God.
No, that's not what I was
I have
insinuating at all.
experienced godlike beings when I was taking hallucinogenics and stuff like that, but I do not believe they were gods. I do not believe they were God. I believe they were other beings that exist in other realms, I'm not going to say dimensions, maybe dimensions, but other planes of existence, I hate to sound like a crazy hippie person, but vibrations of um, uh, and that's kind of where I'm at. But I don't believe God never, like when Jesus was on the earth and he was going around performing miracles and stuff. He never gave drugs to anybody to heal them. They never needed drugs to accept him or to realize that he was God. The
Jesus
apostles,
Christ.
no, the apostles didn't need drugs to see his
Never said
godly
anybody
form.
needed drugs.
You
I'm gonna
said
read-
that you said that Moses may have needed to get
I
high
didn't
on
say needed.
DMT that
Didn't say
burned
needed.
off, so it was an accident. So he just accidentally had an interaction with God.
Well, I don't know how the burning bush got started burning. That was probably God.
It was God. It was a miracle, but it wasn't meant to like
But
get
is
him
it
high.
possible that the smoke from the acacia wood allowed Moses to communicate with God, whereas otherwise he may not have been able to?
He never needed
That's
that
all my
before.
point. I mean, that's,
He didn't need it.
I don't know.
He didn't need it when he got the Ten Commandments.
No. But he
So
was
I don't,
already on a higher level at that point.
Well, I'm pretty sure if that were the case that he needed that, I'm pretty sure it would have
May not have needed it.
mentioned that.
It may not have. It may have just gave him the ability to at the start, because not everybody has the capabilities to communicate with God.
Yes, you do. That's nonsense. Everybody has a capability to communicate with God.
Not back.
Yes.
Like, I've never heard God.
Well,
I've prayed to him 1,000,001 times and never once heard him back.
Maybe, and I've said this a lot. Our brains can't comprehend, like God is not a human. He doesn't
Right.
speak to us in words. We speak to him in words, but he is not a human. We are built in his image, but we are designed in his image, but he doesn't require the same communication method as we do. He if you allow him to, he'll guide you. He'll take the burden off of you. He'll you should never ask for signs or anything like that, but you can put everything on Jesus, and Jesus will provide, and that's a matter of faith. And that's the number one thing. That's the number one block that will stop. And I don't care what anybody says, and I'll argue. I won't even argue this with anybody. Is that faith is not a scientifically proven thing. That if you have faith in God or Jesus or the Trinity, that that God will take care of you, right? That's not like a scientific thing, but the reason why is because it's faith, and the reason or faith is the reason why we will never be able to understand the supernatural realm. Because if you could understand the supernatural realm, faith would become moot. You wouldn't need faith because it would be obvious to you. You
It would
could
be
see
knowledge
it.
at that point.
It would be observable. It would be
It wouldn't be faith,
testable.
it'd be knowledge.
It would be testable, right? It would be science. and a lot of people they have a hard time separating their belief in God or their faith with science, right? Like it just doesn't make sense, the world wasn't made in 7,000 years or whatever. Well, that's not the point.
Shit, I don't believe that shit
None
either.
of, yeah, no, well, I'm not saying it was or it wasn't. I'm just saying it doesn't matter.
Wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't, but it doesn't matter. That's not the point. People get caught
Does
up
it?
in
Truth
that,
matters.
and they use no. What do you mean?
Well, like,
So
I mean, all right.
your faith doesn't isn't if your faith is hinged on whether or not the flood happened exactly the way the Bible claimed it did and all that, then that's not real faith. You know what I'm saying? That's not.
Mhm.
And also the Bible is written in parables for a reason. It's meant to be a guide, like a guide to good living, a guide to living a good life. There's also a lot of historical aspects to it, and a lot more than not has been proven to have a foundation in truth. More of the stories in the Bible, like the big stories, have been proven to have, to be truthful more than not. And
I believe a lot. I know.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
in a lot of that because I know that.
And here, yeah, I don't need to believe in the flood. I don't need to believe in Adam and Eve. None of that matters to me because the New Testament did away with all that, and now there's only one rule. And that's John 3:16. So, but I do believe there is a boundary that is not that will never be crossed between us and God. And if it is, then that is the great filter that filters out advanced civilizations from the universe. Is once they build that Tower of Babylon up because they think they're so smart and they think everything they know, they think they can finally match God in their knowledge with their technology and their and coordination. That is the filter, and that is when they will be wiped out, just like in Babylon. The Tower of Babylon is actually almost like a mirror image story of the theory of the Great Filter. When you look at it,
I believe in the Great Reset.
Not the Great Reset, the Great Filter.
Well, I believe in the Great Reset, meaning at some point it's inevitable that we are going to get hit with a cataclysmic impact of some sort, and all of us will be dead, and all of it will be reset.
Well, maybe it's just complete wiping out.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
I believe in. Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about dying. I'm not worried about the reset. I don't think it's a reset. I don't think it'll be the coming of Christ. And for some, it may be just the apocalypse. But I don't have to worry about that. And I'm not saying it's going to be anytime soon. It probably ain't. The Bible says it'll be like a thief in the night. And yeah. So anyway, that's about it for our show tonight. We actually kind of had a theological kind of discussion. Mm-hmm. And I think it was good. I think it was really good.
Sure.
Yeah. I'd like to touch on the boundaries. Oh, you know what we could do? Next time we can talk about, because there's actually a religion damn it, what's it called? Like a chart that shows, and it's on this website, this World ITC website. This became a religion, for a lack of a better term. I don't know. You could even call it maybe a cult. I don't know. But there's a chart that shows their belief system and how the ethereal works and the different layers of the different frequencies and everything, and it's wild, man. It really
Are those
is
the people
wild.
that follow Gaia? I think it's like the Gaia, like the Gaia.
Yeah,
like,
Stephen Gregory. I do believe God wants us to understand how to explore the universe and how to understand the universe. I don't believe he would have given us inquisitive minds if he didn't want us to do that. I just believe that when we think that we can understand God and that we can that was the downfall of Satan, is to think that we can somehow at some point become, because to believe that we can
that we know better.
decipher a breach through the veil that separates the supernatural and the natural universe. That to me is the same folly of the people who built the Tower of Babel. It's the same folly of Adam and Eve. It's the same folly of any I had another example. Damn it. Anybody who, Satan, right? Satan thought that he could put himself. He was like, yeah, I think I'm smarter than God. I understand everything. I know everything he knows. Why am, and then what's to stop us? The nerve that humans believe that we could be God's equal, I guess, is my issue with it. I don't think it's ever meant to be that way, and I don't need science to prove for me to have faith in God and Jesus, right? I don't need science for that, and I don't need Jesus to learn science. I don't need Jesus to learn science. And if you ask any great physicist, well, not any of them, but a lot of them, they'll tell you that it makes more sense to believe there is a God, a creator, a designer, than it does to not believe that. But you'll never understand their we can't comprehend that. You know what I mean? Just like most people can't comprehend the Big Bang and how it happened and all that. So, what makes us think that we can comprehend the mind of God? But anyway.
Well, if Adam and Eve happened...
Thanks, Stephen Gregory. Do what now?
Never mind.
If Adam and Eve happened?
Yeah, just never mind. Just move on.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying Adam and I'm not saying Adam and Eve is a literal story, because it doesn't matter. It's not necessary to my salvation to believe that. So, I think it's a story that's meant to teach us a lesson about, most of the Old Testament is it's like Job, right? The book of Job. Mm-hmm. All these things, I believe those are just life lessons to help us live a good life. They're just like kind of, I guess you could compare them to Aesop's fables, right? But anyway, it's been a good show. Been a good show. Thank y'all for hanging out. Thanks, Stephen Gregory. Thanks, Estudas Vos Electronicas. Thank you very much, sir. BR. Stephen Gregory. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Timmy, I know you're in there somewhere. Timmy. And Colton Martin and Linda Scott. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time on the Generic Paranormal Show.